Okay, so now let's bounce back to our form. Now the question becomes, how are we going to share this with the kids? You've got a couple different ways to go here. First of all, you're going to click up here where it says send. No, this doesn't send it off right away, but it brings you to a dialog box where this little paperclip is, which is important. We're going to click on that paperclip and it's going to give us the link. I'm going to go ahead and shorten that URL. I'm going to click copy. All right. Now I'm going to take you back to Schoology. So here's my class. All right. And I want to take that link and put it in at the top of my materials page so students see that and they can click on that each day and check in. So that's one way you can do it. If I click right here and I go to add file, link, or external tool, we want that middle one right here, link. And we're going to go ahead and copy, or excuse me, paste that link right in there. And then we can, record your attendance. Okay. I typically turn this paper off. What that does is when they click on the element that's going to go on the page here, it's going to take them off of the page to a new tab. Sometimes Schoology doesn't cooperate. If you try to if you leave this paper lit up, it's going to try to put the form inside the Schoology page. It's up to you. Some of you out there who are more experienced with Schoology know which things kind of appear and which don't. I typically, as a rule, just keep it off. I'm going to click add, and right away you can see a link appears on the page where if they click on that, it takes them right to the daily check-in. So they can go ahead and fill that out. They can put their name, and they can put they were here. They can record what they worked on and submit. All set. That's one way. There is a better way, and this is for those of you who are a little more experienced with Schoology. I'm going to show you kind of a slightly snazzier way to do it, and I think something that it's not just aesthetic, but it's also a little more engaging, and it's going to catch the kid's eye and maybe help them remember to take care of this each day. All right, so it has to do with updates. One of the neat features in updates is we can type any update and post it as a way to message our kids. It goes to all the kids in the class. It goes to their activity feed, kind of like Facebook, where they see, in this case, I just typed the word update, and that's what they see. Watch what happens now, though. If I type the word update again, and then I go over to this little bubble, speech bubble, and click on this bell. When I click post, it actually puts it did put it down here, but it also put it up along the top. This is called an announcement. And an announcement is meant to permanently display itself until I remove it. So when they come into my course, they're going to see this announcement. It could be it could be a paragraph long. Or when they go to the materials page, it's also there. What I'd like to show you is how to kind of merge this tool with your attendance tool. And I think it can be rather effective. Okay, to do this, you have to have your form handy. Okay, we've got our form, and we've got actually, I'm going to leave this open right here where that link is. I've opened up a doc, just a plain old doc, nothing fancy. And I've got a slide open here. And I did a little bit of work ahead of time. And I did some word art. Word art is right here, insert. And again, if you want a deeper dive on slides, contact me. Word art is right here, and I can click word art. It gives me a box, and I can type anything in there and hit enter, and it'll generate that. And then I can change fonts of that word art. The nice thing about word art, though, is you can size it easier. You don't have to mess around with font numbers like, size 12 and so forth. Now, if you notice, I made a box, just did a little box with my drawing tool here, shape, okay? Filled it in with a color. So that's going to be my backdrop. And you can see I'm kind of dealing with a size here. Size, in this case, does affect things. So I've got this about maybe 1/3 or 1/4 the width of my entire slide. And that's about right. And you can experiment later. But here's what I'm going to do. There's a few steps here, but stay with me. And this is totally doable, and it adds a nice effect. All right. So right now I've got my button, my element that I've made. And I'm not going to select it and copy paste it. For the way this works with Schoology, I'm going to go down here to my snippet tool. And I'm going to click new. And I'm going to drag across that snippet. make a snippet, and I'm going to go up here and I'm going to click copy. I'm going to leave that right there, and I'm going to tab over to my doc right up here, and I'm going to insert a table. Just trust me on this. This is a different iteration, kind of a different path, but it works. A table with one cell. That's all I want. There it is. Fancy table. And if you recall, I had copied that element into my clipboard, and I'm going to right click in the table, and I'm going to paste. You know what? I'm not going to right click because that actually pulls up a different set of choices. I'm going to go up to edit, and I'm going to paste. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to right click on the table, and I'm going to go down here to what says called table properties. I'm going to go here to table border. I'm going to go to 0 and click OK. And if you notice, that line around my table just disappeared because I don't really need it. It's just an extra line. And again, you don't have to do this. You can do it the way I did before. I'm now going to set up the link while I'm in Docs. I'm going to set up the link to this button. All right. So I'm going to do that by clicking on our element here, going up to Insert, and going to Link, which opens up a little window here. I'm going to go back to my form, and let's say I was back at this point. I'm going to click on Send, click on Link, click on Shorten, and click on Copy. I'm then going to go back to my doc. There we go. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to paste, and I'm going to click Apply. Okay, so now I've got an element. I have a link attached to it. So now what I'm going to do is actually copy that element. I'm going to go to Edit, and I'm going to go to Copy. And what that's doing is not only copying the button, but also the table it's in. Because Schoology Updates loves tables. You couldn't do this with just a plain old graphic. I'm back at Schoology. I'm going to go to Updates. I'm going to click in my update box. I'm going to right click and paste that button. There it is. And you can notice it's still got the link on it because I can hover over it and I get the arrow. I'm going to go over here, click on the bell, and click Post. There we go. Now, it put it down in the update section here, but what it did was make it an announcement. And each and every day, the kids come to my course, whether they go to the updates page or the materials page. There sits my click here for attendance button, which if they click on that, if you've set it up properly, it takes them right in to where they can record their attendance. And then, of course, as you remember, you get that attendance delivered to you right on that spreadsheet so you can quickly check and see who's there. Okay? So that's just another way, and this one's a little more elaborate, but it's a great tool. I'm telling you that having things in a spreadsheet makes it very manageable, very sortable, very viewable, and very retrievable. All right, all those ubbles that are important. All right, so give it a shot, holler if you need me, and thanks for listening.